let's try that one more time. We're going to go up on canoe, and we're going to keep it nice and breathy. Ha, the birch canoe slid. See, my voice cracked right there. And what that is when your voice breaks like that, it's because it's jostling between two registers. And that's why when people's voices change at puberty, that's what's happening, is that their registers aren't quite matching up. So you obviously want to dial that out.
Well, now that you screwed up, I quit.
So what we want to do is say, ha, the birch canoe slid on the smooth planks.
Ah, the birch canoe slid on a smooth plank.
Excellent. Okay, so now let's move on to speaking conversationally. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit, and I want you to speak, and I'm going to stop you whenever there's an issue that I think would be good to talk about. So what was the most interesting place you've ever been to?
The most interesting place I've ever been to is Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Tell me why.
Santa Fe, New Mexico is really interesting because it's very artsy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also very small.
Mm-hmm. Let me stop you right here. On the word small, you may have heard what's called vocal fry, and this is a very common thing among women her age. You can hear it a lot in like debutantes who are popular right now, where it kind of has this kind of sound at the end of it. And that's okay because it's sort of a style that's come into vogue for younger women. But for our purposes, we want to try to dial that out as much as possible and really breathe all the way through the sentence. So let's continue, but this is great so far. How old were you when you went to Santa Fe?
I was 18 years old.
And how long were you there?
I was there for 3 years.
Wow. Okay. So this wasn't just vacation. You were there for a while.
I was there attending school.
Good. So now tell me a little bit about what it was that was so interesting there. Try to be a little breathier.
It has a very eclectic group of people because it has a mixture of the local culture.
I'm going to stop you right there because on culture she went up into her falsetto, and that's a very important part of learning how to really add another layer to your voice still. Most of the stuff we've been doing, like the birch canoe slid on the smooth planks, that is below my falsetto. Your falsetto is a point where you can't do the ha anymore because your voice gets to a point where you just can't do it and you have to switch into notes where you just can't physically breathe in that same way and make the note. So for me, my break comes if I go ha, 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 ha. Like it's right about there. So anything above that, and I have to go into my falsetto. And your falsetto sounds like Mickey Mouse, it's sort of, oh, hi, how are you? It has this kind of sound. It sounds very fake, but it is very, very high. And when you're speaking, especially as women, we tend to go up into our falsetto, especially when we want to emphasize very strongly, which you just did at the end of that last sentence. So if I want to say to someone I like, and I meet them on the street, I could say, oh, hi, how are you? Which is pleasant, not particularly excited. But if I want to make it sound more excited, I raise my pitch a little bit and say, oh, hi, how are you? But if I really want to do it, I go up into my falsetto, like I just did on the word really. So I go, oh, hi, how are you? And that, oh, I'm going all the way up into my falsetto, and then I'm coming back to my baseline pitch. And that's kind of an advanced thing that we're not going to talk about today, but down the road we'll get into exactly how that works. It's just another layer that we can make our voice sound more feminine. So let's continue with talking about Santa Fe. What were some of the natural scenery things that you liked about Santa Fe? And we're a little quavery there, so it was like that ha, and I'm exaggerating, but we want to dial that out and have it be nice and smooth.
The mountains of Santa Fe and in Albuquerque are some of the most beautiful mountains that I've ever seen.
That was great. I could hear you catch yourself and start breathing more as you were going. That's what we want to do. We want to always be mindful of having lots of breath. And the other thing she did that's really smart is when she was thinking about what she wanted to say, I don't know if you saw her eyes look up. Instead of saying or using a filler word, she decided that she was going to breathe in. And that's what you want to get in the habit of. If you can lose those kinds of words, and we always feel really awkward when we're speaking and there's a silence as we're trying to figure out what to say. So people tend to say, those kinds of words in order to fill up space while they're thinking about what they want to say. That's the worst thing you can do for your voice when you're doing these. We want to get to where we're not saying anything, and it'll feel weird, but if you can take that time to breathe in, your voice is going to sound much better. You're going to have less fatigue. It's all going to help out. So, if you'd like to benefit from a consultation, I'm available to do consultations one-on-one, and I can do those by phone, by video conferencing, whatever's easiest for you. And as I said earlier, we also have a bunch of free resources for people for voice at genderlife.com/voice tutor. You can find a keyboard, a bunch of Harvard sentences that let you practice, and links to a spectrogram, a download of our free voice workbooks that you can practice on your voice. And as well, there's links to Finding Your Female Voice, which is now available online, or you can purchase it as a DVD. All of those things are available to help you if you want to on your voice. I hope this has been helpful and inspirational, and that seeing somebody who's working on theirs has been useful. And if you have any questions, send us a note, put a comment, whatever you want to do. And I say let's get back to it. Let's get a little more practice in, but we'll let these guys go for now. So bye.